Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Jimmy Dore Show. Guess who's with us? It's Johnny Fontaine, never gets that pot. Woo!
I know a little bit more of the context around that name, but still not sure.
He looks good. He dressed up. I like it. I feel good.
Just for him.
Okay, right now, today we're going to, at the top of the show, we're going to talk about, I was watching Morning Joe, because you know me, I like to go to bed angry, and I was watching Morning Joe, and they were talking about climate change, because I don't know if you know this, Manhattan just got flooded, and New Jersey almost went out to the ocean because of a storm. So they're talking about climate change. They bring on the weatherman, and he talks about how they spent money to shore up New Orleans. Well, here, I'll just play it for you.
New Orleans, we spent almost $15 billion to do the flood mitigation there. Isaac came, no damage whatsoever. Estimated on this one was $50 billion. They're saying it would cost about another $15 billion to protect New York City from surges. Do we do that? Do we go and build the protection in New York Harbor to protect Lower Manhattan?
No. I say we don't spend the money and we just move Manhattan to New Hampshire. Are you shitting me? Should we do that? Should we spend the money that they were willing to spend in New Orleans? Johnny?
Yeah, it seems, well, I mean, like the top 1% during that sentence, I think probably made more than $15 million investing in Wall Street. Well, there's many conservatives working there. Wouldn't they have something to say about this?
Well, this is what I'm saying,
it's not
right?
San Francisco. Both parties have a vested interest in maintaining Manhattan.
It'd be a lot cheaper to do nothing until the next disaster hits, which would be a really expensive, but my job is to deny all problems that don't involve me personally. That's a hard joke to tell. Okay, let's. So that's what the weatherman had to say. That's what the weatherman's like. Do we really want to spend $15 billion? No. And so then they throw it over to Jonathan Capehart. He's from the Washington Post. He wears glasses like me, so you know he's smart.
Earlier about all these storms crippling us. How are we going to pay for all of these superstorms, the aftermath of all of these superstorms when we're $16 trillion in debt, trying to figure out how we're going to lower the debt, trying to figure out how we're going to pay for all of the obligations we have to pay for now, and then you have the added impact of these superstorms. Where's the money going to come from?
Good question.
Yeah, good question. Where's the money going to come from to fix up our country? I don't know. Maybe we can invade Mars and rob a bank up there. Are you kidding me? Maybe we could, where it always comes from, the people with the fucking money, idiot. Where are we going to get this money from? I don't know, maybe the richest people on the face of the earth who live in Manhattan will maybe want to pay a little money to put up a seawall to help save their house. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I love the framing that let's not worry about the cause of it. Let's just raise money for each disaster.
Mm-hmm.
It's like dealing with diabetes by holding bake sales for each toe that falls off or something. Why don't you get at the root cause? But they're not even considering that.
He's like, so what are you going to do? We have a huge deficit. Every time there's a hurricane, we're just going to fix it? We have a deficit. Hey, every time someone gets sick, they're going to go to the doctor? What is this country coming to? This is the kind of punditry we get. See, I think it's just too early for them to be thinking clearly. That's the problem with Jonathan Capehart. If we keep spending money every time there's a big storm, we're going to have a deficit. Yeah, when are we going to wake up to the fact that these people whose homes and businesses have been destroyed are bleeding us dry? That's the real problem, John.
Cast them off into the ocean.
And then Joe Scarborough tells a story, which I don't have a clip of, but he tells a story about how he's on a golf course and he runs into this real rich Republican guy and they start talking about climate change and he says, yeah, I see the data and you have to just accept the science. So that was what Joe says, right? So Joe says that this Republican on a golf course who's really rich accepts global warming as a scientific fact, which leaves John Heilman to say this.
The question, Joe, is for people in your party, like to the guy you were just talking about. You can be a conservative and still believe in science. Isn't that kind of part of the message here?
No, that's not the message. You can't be a conservative and believe in science. You have to do that privately, and then in public, you have to pretend like you're a moron. That's what. Yeah. Isn't that part of the message here? No, that's not part of the message, John. He's saying that you have to say it privately. Keep it secret. Okay, so then I was watching Chris Hardball, and he on Tea Partier, and this exact same subject came up, right? Climate change, and the Tea Partiers want to deny it, but this guy takes another turn. He admits global climate change is happening, but here's his solution.
Okay, global warming is very important. What is it that we think that a bunch of politicians in Washington, D.C., who can't even balance the budget, what are they going to do about global warming? Seriously.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example.
There's such a thing
I'll give
as
you a perfect-
political failure. There's such a thing as the limits to what government can do. If you really think that the climate is changing, do you really think that government can redesign the entire global economy, not just in the United States, but in the entire world, in a more rational way? I think you're expecting too much from politics.
So, according to our Tea Party friend from FreedomWorks, the common sense solution to climate change is to do nothing and die quickly. That's
Well,
it.
maybe not quickly.
Yeah.
But die.
But die.
No, I love it's complicated.
Do you really think that the government of the United States can reorganize the economy of every country in the world? No. Well, then we shouldn't do anything about global warming.
Yeah.
That's his conclusion. Then we can't do nothing. We can't change mileage per gallon standards on cars. We can't try to switch to cleaner energy. We can't do anything. We can't find any solutions. Just stop looking, please. I'm the voice of reason here.
He's a Tea Partier?
He's a Tea
Is
Partier.
he being paid to say? Like he said that we're asking too much of government. I think that we're asking too much of him as a pundit to even contemplate the possibility that disaster could be averted.
Right.
Or stalled for a bit.
We can wipe out polio. We can build the Hoover Dam. We can defeat fascism. We can end global war. We can send a man to the moon. But there's nothing we can do about climate change.
It could take years.
Carbon emission. Yeah, it would be really hard and stuff, and it would hurt my head.